In the context of the rapid development of AI, electricity demand in the United States is surging, especially due to the rapid growth of data centers and AI computing, putting significant pressure on power supply. Currently, electricity has become one of the core factors restricting AI development. Therefore, expanding stable and sustainable power energy in the future is imperative. Nuclear power is the key to solving this problem. The reason is that the capacity factor of nuclear power is very high, reaching 92.7, which is much higher than that of wind and solar energy. A higher capacity factor means it can continuously provide stable power. Nuclear power is the best answer for providing 24/7 base load power. In addition, modular small nuclear power plants are now very suitable for data centers, with short construction cycles, small land occupation, and flexible deployment. Therefore, the greatest potential of nuclear power in the future lies in the modular small nuclear power SMR industry. NuScale Power NICE SMR is one of the most authentic and watched nuclear power companies. In May 2025, the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission, NRC, officially approved its 77 megawatt power module design, which is the world's first commercial SMR scheme to pass a complete safety review. This milestone is significant. It took NuScale a full 8 years from design submission to final approval, during which more than 2,300 safety tests were completed, with a total investment of over $1 billion. This regulatory barrier has built an insurmountable first-mover advantage. As NuScale CEO John Hopkins said, "Our design is not a concept on paper, but amateur scheme that can start construction immediately." What's more noteworthy is its commercialization progress. The production line, in cooperation with Doosan Heavy Industries, has produced 12 power modules. These modules, after being assembled in South Korean factories, can be shipped directly to any project site worldwide. Romania Shro Power Project has entered the front-end engineering design phase, planning to build a 6 megawatt power station with 6 modules, and the final investment decision is expected to be finalized in the first quarter of 2026. Once completed, it will become Europe's first commercial SMR power station. As a listed company purely focused on SMR, NuScale avoids the problem of business dilution in integrated energy enterprises. This pure track attribute makes NuScale stock price more directly reflect the growth dividends of the SMR industry, which is one of the core logics attracting professional investors. NuScale's business model revolves around full life cycle services, which is completely different from traditional equipment manufacturers. Its core revenue sources include 3 parts: pre-engineering, design, and licensing, FEs accounting for about 30%, module sales and construction services accounting for about 50%, and long-term operation and maintenance, as well as fuel supply accounting for about 20%. Through the joint venture with Entera One Energy, NuScale can also provide customers with turnkey solutions from financing to operation, greatly reducing the decision-making threshold for customers. This model has begun to show results in financial data. In the first quarter of 2025, the company's revenue reached $13.4 million, a 900% year-on-year surge, mainly from engineering service FEs for the Romanian project and pre-preparation services for potential customers. Although the net loss still reached $134 million, operating expenses dropped from the 2023 quarter average of $65 million to $42.3 million, showing efficiency improvements brought by economies of scale. Cash reserves are an important barrier for NuScale to resist risks. As of the end of the first quarter of 2025, the company held $521 million in cash and short-term investments with no debt. At the current cash burn rate of about 40 million per month. It is sufficient to support operations for at least 2 years. However, there has been constant controversy over its valuation. The current market value is about 13 billion, corresponding to Opera's to sales ratio of over 100 times, much higher than the 3 to 5 times of traditional energy companies. But supporters believe that this premium stems from its irreplaceability as the only commercial SMR enterprise with NRC approval. Its value should not be simply measured by current revenue but by its potential market size. It is estimated that if NuScale captures 10% of the global SMR market share by 2030, its annual revenue could reach $5 billion, corresponding to a reasonable valuation of over 50 billion. In the second half of 2025, NuScale's development enters a critical window. The company's management revealed in the first quarter earnings report that negotiations with 5 ultra-large technology companies have entered the term sheet exchange stage, and these companies are mainly involved in the fields of artificial intelligence, data centers and cloud computing. In addition, the Romanian RoPower project has completed site geological exploration and power grid access planning, and the final investment decision is expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2026. The project plans to build 677 megawatt modules with a total investment of about 4.5 billion, of which the EU Just Transition Fund will provide 1.2 billion in subsidies, and the Romanian government has committed to 20% equity investment. If it progresses smoothly, module installation will start in 2028 and commercial operation will be realized in 2030, which will become NuScale's first overseas commercial project. Technological expansion is also accelerating. The company recently announced the development of a hydrogen production system based on the 77 megawatt module, which can electrolyze water to produce hydrogen through reactor waste heat, increasing energy conversion efficiency to over 85%. This nuclear power plus hydrogen model has attracted the interest of petrochemical enterprises, and companies such as ExxonMobil and Shell have expressed cooperation intentions, which is expected to become the second growth curve after power supply. However, despite the broad prospects, NuScale's development path is still full of thorns. The core risk lies in the uncertainty of order finalization. In 2015, the project agreement signed between the company and Utah Associated Municipal Power Systems (UMPS) was eventually cancelled because the cost soared from $3 billion to $9.3 billion. This incident still makes some potential customers hesitant. Moreover, the risk of project delays for the company cannot be ignored. Romania's RoPower project has postponed the final investment decision twice, mainly due to the EU's dispute over nuclear power classification and protests from local environmental organizations. Meanwhile, the evolution of the current industry competition landscape hides uncertainties. Domestically in the U.S., X-Energy's high-temperature gas-cooled reactor scheme has entered the final stage of NRC approval, with approval expected in 2026. In the international market, Russia's Skuld 42 module has been put into operation in the Arctic region, and China's Linglong 1 has also completed a demonstration project in Hainan. All of these may divert potential customers. Financial pressure, however, remains an unresolved issue. If no orders are secured by the end of 2025, the company may need to issue additional shares to maintain operations. Over the past 3 years, the number of its outstanding shares has tripled. If it raises another $500 million, it may lead to a dilution of over 15% in existing shareholders' equity. More critically, the investment return cycle for SMR projects is as long as 20 years. Finally, the risk of technological iteration cannot be ignored. Current lie. NuScale S77 megawatt design uses pressurized water reactor technology, while tech giants like Microsoft and Amazon prefer high-temperature gas-cooled reactors, believing they have greater advantages in hydrogen production and industrial heating. If there is a shift in technical routes, it may lead to the rapid depreciation of existing designs, which is also a key reason why the company is accelerating research and development in hydrogen energy technologies. For investors, NuScale's investment value depends on balancing risks and returns. In the short term, 1 to 2 years, the stock price movement will be highly dependent on the progress of the First Order and the Romanian project. If they are successfully implemented, it may trigger a revaluation with upside potential of 5100. If there are major delays, the stock price may pull back by 30-50. This high volatility means short-term investors need to closely track event-driven factors and avoid blindly chasing highs. In the medium to long term, 3 to 5 years, its investment logic will shift to verifying commercialization capabilities. Focus on 3 key indicators: whether the module delivery cycle can be controlled within 18 months, whether the construction cost per kilowatt can be reduced to below 4,000, and whether operation and maintenance costs are 20% lower than traditional nuclear power. Overall, NuScale is suitable for investors with strong risk tolerance and a long investment horizon. Over 5 years, it is recommended to adopt a phased position building strategy. Allocate 1/2 of your position at the current price, and add more if the price pulls back to key support levels after an order is secured. For conservative investors, you can wait until the first project is connected to the grid for power generation before entering the market to reduce technical and commercial risks. That's all for this video. See you next time.